Hello, welcome in. Come on in and take a seat. Tonight we're going to be talking about a very serious topic, and that's when grown men prey on younger women. Excuse me. I know that we all have been through similar situations. We have all can relate on this topic one way or the other. Let me open this up so I can see the chat. Hello, Miss Deborah. How are you? I'm sorry, I'm not able to see the chat from my phone, so I have a slight bit of a cold, so bear with me as far as my voice is concerned. But I know that a lot of us can relate to this topic. Oh, let me go live on here on Facebook. Let me get my Facebook started. All right, I'm live on Facebook now. All right, I'm good on Facebook. I'm live over here. Hey, Blossom, baby. Hey, Sissy. All right, we good on Facebook. We good over here. Hello, Miss Doris. So, like I said, we're gonna be talking about a serious Miss Blossom. I was in your live earlier, but I was bathing. Okay, I was bathing and listening, but I couldn't type. But I was in your live. Hey, hey, Miss Ellen, how are you? But I know tonight that we can relate to this topic one way or the other. Um, Talking with a lot of the cousins, as well as counseling a lot of the cousins. A lot of them wanted me to bring this to the forefront and tell a lot of their stories that they have encountered with this certain issue in regards to being approached or being in a situation where older men have violated them or preyed on them in a particular way, um, either growing up or, in some way when they were in their youth. I have also encountered situations in my youth where I have been put in very uncomfortable situations with grown men, where um, whether they were two times my age, um, whether they were a few years older than me, and they know they had no business even interacting with me. So, everybody, please welcome in Beautiful Blossom. Now we have some people in. Hello, Miss Florida Red said, good evening, everyone watching the commercial, but I'm here. Thank you so much. Um, so, I want to start off with a story. Um, Hello, Glam the Gam. Everybody, welcome in, Glam the Gam. She said, "What's up, chat?" Um, so, when we were younger, um, growing up in the hood, you would see the guys hanging around in the neighborhood, and the older guys who used to, hey sissy, I see you over here on Facebook. Um, I gotta throw you a moderator over here since you over on Facebook. Um, so growing up in the hood, you would see the men over, just sitting around in the neighborhood, the ones that stood on the corner and drank all the dang on time. And I remember when I got of age, soon as I got of age, a lot of them approached me, and the first thing they said was, I couldn't wait till you got older so I can talk to you, or so I can mess with you. And that really bothered me, because I was thinking in my head, like, did you really watch me? Was you really like looking at me develop as a little girl and waited until I got of age to think you were going to be able to touch me? These were men that would be around my mom that, thank you, sissy, that would be around my mom. Some of them were my mom friends that were waiting on me, my sister, my cousins, and the young girls in the neighborhood to actually grow up so they could put their nasty hands on us in the age of 30, 40 years old. And I just had this gross feeling come over me when they would say these things to me. And I remember back in high school, everybody welcome in Miss Swag Found. Thank you for coming in, Swag. I remember in high school, I would remember, hello, Blessing Hot Topics. Everyone, welcome in, Miss Blessing. I remember in high school, I remember grown men dropping girls off at high school. I remember them getting dropped off in front of the school by men that were their father ages. I remember these men buying them all type of things and them leaving school throughout school hours just to spend time with these men. And I would have this eerie feeling all over me. Miss Mel said, hey, Swag. She over here on Facebook. She said, hey, Blessing. And I would have this eerie feeling all over me just to know that a grown man was putting his hand over these young girls. So I'm going to tell you a story that one of the young ladies encountered. So she said that her mother was unable to take her to school every day because her mother worked the early shift. So her mother paid someone. Yeah, because they over here on YouTube, sis. Hello, Miss Tina. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. Her mother paid someone that everybody please welcome in Pink. Thank you so much for joining, Pink. Her mother paid this older lady that she grew up with her children that was retired to take the young lady to and from school. And the older lady had her sons living in the house with her. So one day she was late for school. And so she was waiting at the lady's house until the second period. And so her son was home and the mom went upstairs to get something or to do something. And she was sitting on the couch. And the son came out of his room in his underwear and sat on the couch with the young lady. Now, mind you, this man had watched the young lady grow up and he was good friends with the young lady's mom and an entire family. They had grew up with the young lady's family, so they knew. He was well aware of her whole family. Didn't matter to him. Thank you so much, Miss Tina. So he went and he sat on the couch next to the young lady who was all of 14 and 15 years old. And he started rubbing on the young lady's leg. And she said she scooted over on the couch. And he scooted over a little bit more. And then he grabbed her arm in an aggressive way. And then he grabbed her leg and continued to move her closer to him as he pulled her to his room. And luckily, the mom started to come down the stairs and he let her go. And he went into his room. Now, what would that man had done to that young lady if the mother wouldn't have came down those stairs in the nick of time? And he knew her entire family, but he didn't care about any of that. He was willing to violate that young lady knowing that he knew her mother, her father. When she told me that story, my insides began to boil. Because I can remember the days when those old men on the corner will whistle every time me and my sister would walk by. When they would grab our arms every time we walked by. When they told us how much they wanted us. But we called these same men uncles as we grew up. We looked up to them as uncles because we grew up with these men. But when we turned a certain age, it went from being uncles to us looking at them as pedophiles. What a difference a couple years make. The young lady said, when that man passed, she didn't feel anything for him. You know how you feel sad for somebody when they pass? She said actually she rejoiced in her heart when he passed because she no longer had to feel that guilt that she was carrying inside of her of not telling her mother all these years of what that man did to her. And when I say breaking generational curses and talking about things in here, she was more afraid of what her mother would think she did to make him approach her. And I hear that so much in our society because it's always the blame game. What did your fast A do? I've heard that growing up. I've heard people down the block ask their daughters, what did your fast A do to? Why did your fast A go down there? What did your fast A have on? And so that's why I'm making my business not to call young women fast. Because I heard that all my life. I've even been called a fast A for doing nothing. You have to be careful what you feed these young women. As Black women, sometimes we destroy our own people. How many of you are guilty of calling young women out of their name? Of calling young women fast asses? Calling them hoes? Calling them out their name because you see young girls walking down the street with the clothes you shouldn't have on, but they have on. Because they're sitting on the porch talking to a young boy and now all of a sudden they a fast asshole. I've heard that all my life by some of the people that I shouldn't have never ever heard from. But luckily I had a loving mother who taught me differently. I've heard that from some of my own family members. So this is why I see so many women not wanting to go to their family, and they live with these type of secrets for the rest of their life because their family will make it seem like it was their fault for being violated, because they don't want to believe that their friend would do such a thing. So they blame it on their own blood. How many times you been guilty? We gotta do better, because we will break our own kind down. How many times have you called a young man a punky? Or told him he'll be just like his father, good for nothing? We tear our own down and then wonder why they exactly what you called them. Wonder why they can't get it right. Wonder why they can't get that job, or wonder why they don't want to go any further because they everything you told them they were. Wonder why they go to drugs, or wonder why they go to the streets because you created everything you spoke into existence. A lot of you all's children turn out to be either what you wanted them to be, what you created them to be, or the total opposite. They either run away from what you taught them or run to what you taught them. You make the choice. We tear down our own. I saw this video of this young lady. She taped her mother's boyfriend coming on to her. He tried to violate the young girl. The young girl video recorded it. She then later on took the video recording, the video evidence to her mother, where she taped that whole interaction with video evidence. She took it to her mother. Her mother dogged her out so bad and called that little girl all type of names and told her to get her fast BA out of her house because she's destroying her relationship. She told her she enticed her man. See, she didn't blame it on the grown man who had no business lusting after a little girl. She didn't blame it on herself, who she should have known who she was bringing around her doggone child. That she shouldn't have brought a man around her teenage daughters, who she should have did her doggone dirty work outside of the home instead of bringing an unknown man around her baby. She didn't think about any of this. She didn't think about, she didn't know who the heck she brought around her daughter. She blamed it on her doggone baby. That her baby enticed a grown doggone man to put his hands on an innocent doggone child. See, that's why a lot of the doggone kids don't go to their parents and tell their parents, and then they live with this doggone pain and the hurt for the rest of their doggone life. And you wonder why some people can't get it right. And y'all sit up there, call them lazy, and wonder why they on welfare, and wonder why they don't have no job. Because you effed them up in the doggone head and they can't get it right up here because you screwed them up all their doggone life. You never was there for them. You put a man before them. You never gave them love and guidance, and so they don't know which way to go because you wasn't there for them. You was there for a doggone man. You put men before your doggone children, so they don't know nothing. They lost, but you blame it on your child. A lot of people, a lot of men and women are just bearers of the children. They not actual parents. You don't know how to actually parent a child. You were just creators of. I'm going to read some of you all comments. Welcome in, Miss Angie. Hello, Sting. Hello, Lady Charisma. Hello, Miss Maisha. Hello, Prince. Hello, Miss Candy. Okay. All right. Miss Sorta Red said, I had an experience that I never shared with my mom. Not molested, but violated by the owner of the neighborhood shoe shop at the development stage of 13. Safe travels, Miss Pink. Hello, Mrs. Hill. Okay, I'm going to go down. I think I'm too far up. Y'all just speaking. If y'all have some experiences over here on Facebook, please share them with me. I will share them with the people on YouTube. Hello, Ace038 said, hello, beautiful ladies. All the love from the Netherlands. What's this about? It's about men who violate young girls. Hello, Sylvia. Say, yep, I know that feeling way too well. Well, I am very sorry. 038 says some men are like little children. Absolutely. Absolutely. And some women are too. Can't just blame the men. Um 038 said never did, always had respect. I got a lot to offer and I'm happily married. Okay, baby. Um, okay. Hello, Miss Regala. Miss Florida Red said, I told him no, but later on, maybe months later, he came from around the corner to hand me my mom's shoes and quickly kissed me. It was very wet and I screamed because it scared me. Wow. Wow. About what age were you, Miss Florida Red? Hello, Miss Ashanti from Me TV. Everybody welcome in Miss Ashanti. Hello, Miss Lori B. Miss Lori B said, hello, Miss Mika. This is so heartbreaking and it happens all the time. Absolutely. Miss Prince says, yeah, I would never, but nobody before my children. That's awful. Absolutely. Hello, Miss Deborah. Deborah says, sister, why so many young men in prison and a lot of young women? Hold on. Let me get down to your comment, baby. And a lot of young women has been told you're not going to amount to anything. That needs to stop. Absolutely. So why so many young men in prison and a lot of young men has been told you're not going to amount to anything? Well, when you tell somebody something, they believe it, right? When you tell somebody repeatedly and you beat that into them, they believe it. So a lot of them go and amount to nothing. If that's all you ever taught them, when you tell your kids you are beautiful, you are a king, you are a queen, you are worthy, you are intelligent, they're going to believe those type of things. When you tell your child repeatedly you're never going to be nothing, you're worthless, you're good for nothing, they're going to believe exactly what you tell them. And voila, they end up in prison because they believe everything you told them. Miss Florida Red said, I was scared to tell my mom because of his status and what my mom may have done to him. My mom packed a pistol, and I think I was scared of my mom going to jail, so was protecting her. Sting says, can you imagine your mom telling you at the age of 8 to 12, your mom blaming you because her man was doing things to me he shouldn't have done? Sting, I'm so sorry if that happened to you. I'm so sorry. Mm-mm-mm. Ooh, child. Y'all know I be having trouble, honey, when I got on nails with this doggone mouse on the child. I don't even know why I be playing with this thing. Alright, here we go. Miss Fortered said, I was 13 years of age. I really think my mom would have shot him. She went to her grave never knowing. He begged me over and over not to tell, and I promised never to do that again. Sting said a lot more than that happened. We're definitely going to pray before we get off of this live. So hopefully, some of your burdens will be easier. I know they won't be gone, but hopefully your load will be a little lighter. Okay, so after we're talking about that, right, we're going to talk about the story. And bear with me because I'm not going to be able to read you all comments or here on YouTube because y'all know I can't see the comments on my phone. But we're going to go, since we're talking about the men doing it right now, we're going to go to the famous story. The story that went viral with Mike Hulkenberg and his wife, Deja. The man that was allegedly 61 and he waited till the young lady turned 18 to marry her, and he was her godfather. So 61-year-old Mike Hulkenberg recently married, and this is an older story, so it's not recent. This was in, bear with me, 2021. Okay? So it wasn't recent, but it wasn't that long ago. So he married his 18-year-old, married 18-year-old Deja in Florida. Mike posted photos of their wedding attended by the couple's four children. Mike has three children from previous relationships and one with Deja, a 1 year old um, daughter she got pregnant with when she was 16 years old. The internet, let me scroll down some. The internet has gone mad following reports of the bizarre wedding. With good reason. The couple's age difference presents one giant red flag, and there are more red flags that we continue to discover. Fortunately, netizens agree, and that's net citizens, agree that Deja is a victim in the arrangement, but she doesn't see it that way. When she went missing in 2017, Mike led an online effort to locate Deja. If anybody has seen my goddaughter, please contact me, Mike written on a post. Deja posted about being in a relationship when she was 17, but didn't post who she was dating. It was only after she turned 18 and married Mike when we learned her husband's identity. The concerns is that Mike groomed her and had sex with Deja when she was a minor. That he used her position in life to manipulate her into a relationship. In a Facebook rant, in a Facebook rant posted on Mike's page, Deja confirmed that she got pregnant at the age of 16. If her baby belongs to Mike, he is guilty of having sex with a minor. The story gets more shocking, y'all, when we learn that Mike dated Deja's mother in 2017. In her replies to Mike's Facebook post, Deja's mother, Davina Evans, refers to Mike as Bae. This story gets more shocking. Deja admitted she left home when she was 16, running away from her mother's drug problem. Davina acknowledged that she had a drug problem and lost her children due to drug abuse. At 16, with no home, Deja was vulnerable and susceptible to manipulation. That's probably when Mike swooped her into his life. Mike remains defiant in the face of intense criticism. He wrote on Facebook, "It seems like I'm the only ninja in town who has married a young woman, but since it's me, they got to have something to say. Look like the little girls are jealous of my wife, but keep on promoting us. I love it." Before Facebook suspended her account, Deja posted the following message to Facebook. "People love to call me a child because I'm 18, but first of all, I am a grown AF. I take care of all four of my children. I work full time. I have 4 cars, all paid for, and I stay home with my man. We only go out every so often. I don't got time for it. I don't got time or energy to deal with none of you hoes that got something to say." Deja echoed that message via live session posted on Mike's Instagram. She stated that she didn't want to hear people's opinions. "It doesn't mean shit to us, so why waste your time and energy and keep on giving your opinion?" Deja asks. "Everything is done. We are married." She said she's content. She says that she's content with her marriage to Mike, and that everyone with the contrary opinion is just hating. Deja stated that there's no use of dating young boys because they have no interest in settling. I want to be with a ninja that know what the F he wants in life, Deja said. When one commenter said that Mike was a predator, Deja offered the following reply. Well, if he's a predator, he's my predator. So we go from that to almost what we were talking about earlier. Somebody waiting on somebody basically to grow up and become a grown woman and prey on her. Like he was around this young girl when she was younger, even dated her mom. Now, if you're familiar with the story, the mom went live. Okay, the mom went live and told it all, and the mom stated yes, that they had sex, and he paid her. The young girl was aware that they were in a sexual relationship. She knew that, and that the young girl ran away because of them having sex or whatever, and that her mom was a drug addict. So it's in my belief that he was in love with the girl. That's why he put out the post, because allegedly from her own post that she put the status out that she had a boyfriend, but she never said who the boyfriend was. She didn't say who the boyfriend was until she actually got married to him, and then she said who he was, and come to find out it was Mike old self. Okay, and she was a young girl. Allegedly he was 61 and she was only 18 years of age, but he had been lusting after this baby for so long. Okay, Blossom's talking to Kim. Yes, Dana, mom. Glam says, I know he had kids when they got together, but I thought she ended up having more than one. Now they are headed for divorce. Are they now, Kim? Are they? I thought they had another baby. Wow. Did they not have another baby, Kim, recently? Child, you kidding me? All that. They went through all that. Blossom says, see, I stopped following that story, so you right, Kim. Yeah, I had for a while too. Miss Florida Red said, I think she had 2 babies from him. I do too, Miss Florida Red. Blessing says, I'm listening and cooking for my family at the same time. This is a good story. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, let me scroll down. Child, I can't even, child. Glam says, that's what I thought. Not 100%. I know I read they were getting divorced. I'm gonna have to follow up on that, Glam. Child, that's something else. So we go from one, hey Andrea baby, welcome in. So we go from one extreme, right, to we go to the next. So now we go to this woman, because we just not going to stick on the man, baby, because it's some women up in here that lost their cotton picking mind. So now we go to a mother sentenced, and this is in 2002. So we go up to a mother sentenced to 30 years in prison for allowing her teen daughter to marry a 47-year-old man. So we gonna talk about her little trifling tale now. So a Texas mother has been sentenced to 30 years in prison for exposing her daughter to sexual abuse after marrying her off to a 47-year-old man. Mel, you still over here, or are you on YouTube? Oh, you still on Facebook. Thank you. As reported by 8 News Now, Sherry Payton, 43, was convicted of continuous sexual abuse of a young child after an investigation in 2017 after the girl told her doctor that she had been having a CX with her husband. Payton, the girl's mother, told the doctor that her daughter was married and that her marriage was part of their religious belief. The investigation revealed that Peyton had also abused had also abused the girl as part of a different religious practice. Although the child victim in this case was failed by her mother, time and time again, she was surrounded in the courtroom by a strong support system, Prosecutor Jessica Ramos told News 8 Now. We are grateful to her adoptive mother, her court advocate, her CASA, and the caseworker from Child Protective Services that supported the child throughout the investigation. KR KPRC of Houston said that the men had been identified as Stephen Cartney, charged with aggravated sexual assault of a child. The marriage is not legally recognized by the state, but only in the threesome Hebrew Israelite faith. Okay, so that's the religion that she claimed that her daughter was under, that allow her daughter to be married to this man. Okay, so it says by her the marriage was recognized in the threesomes Hebrew Israelite faith. Okay, and it says in March, Cardi was sentenced to 22 years and 20 years in prison for aggravated sexual assault of a child and sexual assault of a child, and sentences were being served concurrently. Every child deserves to feel safe with their mother, and this child wasn't. As the nation prepares to celebrate Mother's Day, I am reminded that not every child has a mother who protects them, lead prosecutor Thompson said. But I take solace in this jury's verdict because it says that there's a consequence awaiting mothers who fail to protect as profoundly as Sharon Payton did. Additionally, Prosecutor Melissa, Deputy Chief of District Attorney Child Abuse Division, added, motherhood is a gift and a privilege. Cases involving child victims are always emotionally difficult to prosecute. This one particularly so. No one wants to think or believe another human being is capable. Hold on. It must cut off. Let me see, did it cut off? Capable of committing crimes against children, but they happen every day, most often by someone close to the child. So we go from a man preying on a young girl since she was a child to someone who birthed their child and who allowed her child's innocence to be taken away from her for her own purpose. Because why else would you allow your child to be violated by a man that was, I think they said 30 something years older than her? Yeah, I seen that. Glam says there was also a discrepancy with his age, 51, 55, 61. How old your old tail is, Nicker. That's why I said allegedly 61, Kim. Because it was a number of different ages that I saw when I read this article. So yeah, that's why I said allegedly, because I didn't know what his real age was, because a lot of the articles said different ages. Princess, interesting stories. I'm getting goosebumps in a very shocking way. Yeah, that story right there was very very hard for me to okay, very hard for me to digest. That I'm not sure of the principles or the rules. I did try to look up the laws of the Israelites, um, but it didn't tell me much about their principles regarding marriage. What it did tell me is that they do practice polygamy, and they're allowed to have multiple wives, but it did not tell me a certain age that they are allowed to marry at. I did look that up all day today, but I couldn't find anything concrete to tell me the age that they were allowed to marry. So I'm not sure if that is true. Even so, even so, morally, at that tender age, I could not allow my child's innocence to be taken away from her in that manner. I don't care what religion I'm under, there's no way in this world I will allow someone to take my child's innocence. No way. Florida Red said, just Google KIM October 2022. It was reflected they were talking divorce but still married. Yeah, I just seen something about them on Facebook not too long ago. Um, but I didn't hear nothing about marriage, so that shocked me. But like Blossom said, I kind of stopped following the case long ago. I just used this article as a reference, but I stopped following them a long time ago. But um, the mother, I wonder where was the mother's village? Where was the little girl village? Because it is clear to me that the mother suffers, in my opinion, from some type of mental illness for her to think that it was okay to allow a man that old to lay on top of her young daughter. In my opinion, she may have went through some type of abuse that is similar to that in her past, and in her mind have believed that it was okay, and now she is projecting that type of toxicity onto her daughter at this point. I can't be 100% sure because I don't have her mother in front of me, but that's just my opinion. Her mother definitely should have received some type of mental help because, as I said, she allowed, hello, Miss Annette, her daughter's innocence to be taken away from her. And her daughter's going to have to live with that trauma for the rest of her life now. But if everybody's hearts and minds are clear, we're going to have to be more mindful of what we say to these young girls and these young men because they have a long lasting effect on them. I still have young girls and young men who still remember some of you all, because I know some of you all are guilty of the words and the things that you have said to them growing up. Be mindful of the things that you put into these young people's heads. Instead of calling them fast and whores and telling them they ain't gonna be nothing, try doing the reverse and telling them they're going to be whatever they want to be, telling them that they are queens and kings and they are capable of being anything that they put their minds and their hearts to. Tell them they are worthy, tell them they are beautiful, tell them they are smart and kind, and see what the outcome going to be. We have to do better. We have to do our parts, because whatever you create when they're smaller is more than likely what you're going to see when they're older. And for those who have suffered these type of traumas, let me get to Miss Florida Red first. Miss Florida Red says, I was violated, but it is sad when you give I was violated, but it is sad when you give thought to the adults who remained silent and kept secrets of being molested, like I did of being sneak kissed by an old nasty man. It you know, the fact that you felt that you had to keep silent, that's very sad. But for whatever reason you felt you had to keep silent, I hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive yourself for that reason. But for those of you who are struggling with those things that you have gone through in your life, I hope that you can find peace and forgive yourself. And I know it's hard to get through, and I know that you will probably never get over, but learn how to get through it. And so, Lord, we come to you asking for mercy. We ask you for grace. We ask you for peace over those who are going through and holding on to those past traumas. Lord, we ask that you wrap your arms around them and give them comfort. We ask that you give them understanding, and most importantly, Lord, we ask that you give them healing. When they're weak at night, when those thoughts come to you, Lord, we ask that you comfort them. We ask that you give them the peace that only you can provide. We ask that you give them be a shield of protection and stand in the gap like no one else can. We ask these prayers in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Cousins, I love you all from the bottom of my heart. I thank you all for joining me. I will see you all soon with another something. I don't know where it will be, but I will see you all soon. Kim, are you going live, baby? I know it's late. What time is it? Kim, you going live? Hey, Miss Lisa. Let's see if Kim going live. Thank you for joining me on YouTube. Kim, are you going live? Kim, are you going live? All right, what time? Good night on Facebook. Thank you for joining me. Can I cut it off without pushing it up, child? Ooh. Okay, Kim will be live in a minute, y'all. We're gonna meet over on Kim's live. I've updated my phone and I do not. Well, hopefully you will catch the replay, Miss Lisa. But thank you all for joining me tonight. We'll meet over on Kim Live. I love you all. Good night.